I got an EBT card, my nigga. Like, what the bro? I can't even get nothing. Bro, man. Y'all want to see me cry in here. So y'all can think I'm a
bro.
That shit ain't fair, nigga.
Hey.
I'm on EBT, bro.
Hey.
That's why.
Man.
Hey.
First of all, why can't you get a fucking job?
I went through with Kevin, and he was definitely extremely violent, physically abusive, and I wasn't the only person that has dealt with it.
Am I supposed to have a heart for him? I can't. This is what you did to the women. This is what you did to one of the mothers of your child. You did it to your other, the mother of your child. You knocked out a woman's front teeth, allegedly.
The final straw was when Marley was actually in my arms once, and I was like, I can't do this no more.
Damn. All right, Eva.
I remember a long time ago, there was this story, if you guys remember, about the old man who was he was unhoused, and the really, really young girl started to help him out. And she whatever. She ended up, helping him get into a room and whatever, all this stuff, right? Long story short, ended up coming out that like why he was unhoused, why he was on the street. It was because he hurt everybody around him and he burned every bridge. You know what I'm saying? Like that, that's why he ended up on the street. That's why he didn't have anybody to live with and nobody would allow him to stay there. I know a man like that. That's my father. My father, he burned all his bridges. He's married now. He's been married for a while, like almost as long as I've been married. But he burned all of his bridges, and he was unhoused for a decade, minimum like a decade. He didn't have anywhere to stay. He was living in a van. He was, he had a camper. He probably spent nights on park benches. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure. Because he burnt every bridge. He burnt and hurt every woman that he ever had in his life. He hurt, I mean, every woman, his mother, his cousins, his sisters, and he hurt every man that was in his life that ever tried to hurt him, his brothers, his son, his whoever, right? So I'll never forget one time reading a comment, and it was like a woman, and she basically was in the comment section, and she was like, yeah, that's why I don't help old, if I see a man and he's unhoused, I don't help him. And I know that's harsh because it's a blanket statement. So I'm not saying this to every man, but at the time, I just remember it's like little things that I just file away in my brain. Cause in the moment it may seem like that's crazy, but then, it stuck with me for a reason. Cause I was like, no, that's not really crazy. It's not really crazy. I say all of that to say, I came across a video of Kevin Mccall. Now, if you don't know who Kevin Mccall is, he was a singer. He wrote a lot of stuff for Chris Brown. I think he wrote Deuces, if I'm not mistaken. That was him, one of Chris Brown's best songs. But anyways, so Kevin Mccall, I see clips of him on this podcast, which I will never watch a full podcast with Kevin Mccall because he's not interesting to me. But I did find this part to be interesting, and that's why they clipped it up. So I'm watching it and I'm like, damn, that's fucked up because I know how the industry can be. I know how people are shady in there and whatnot. And I'm just listening to it and I'm like, yeah. And it involved Chris Brown, and I'm not a fan of Chris Brown. So, all of it made sense. And I'm like, yeah, so I started to have some empathy, right? But let's peep.
I didn't get paid for Look at Me Now. I wrote on that. I wrote a whole verse, then Busta Rhymes cut the verse off, but I still did this part. Mm-hmm. What was we talking about? I need that bread. All this shit could have been shit I could have paid for my lawyers and shit. So I just lost both of my daughters is in Atlanta right now. I don't know what the fuck is in Atlanta. I lost rights to my daughter, my oldest.
So you lost all custody.
Like my child support is $2,000, right? Deuces ain't been popping since 2012. Why is my child support $2,000? So I had all this back pay. Then I sold my catalog for $500,000. I only got $250,000 out of it. I bought my mama a house for $50,000. And then I had to pay all this child support shit off. Why was my child support $2,000? I'm not Future or none of these. Watch this. Why the fuck I got an EBT card? Breezy, bro, and made 90 whatever the fuck million, and it say KKKKK Mac. Can I get 25,000 for them four songs I owe you, bro? I just want to leave, bro.
Leading up to who he is.
I'm not even tripping though. I got an EBT card, my nigga. Like, what the fuck, bro? I can't even get nothing, bro, man. Y'all niggas want to see a nigga cry in here, so y'all can think I'm a.
Bro.
Fuck nigga.
That shit ain't fair, nigga.
Hey,
I'm on EBT, bro.
hey,
That's why.
Bro.
hey. Look, bro.
I'm down, bro.
Say my name, bro. That shit is bad. I had to go up in that motherfucker and hide my face with a mask like COVID, bro.
Don't act like every nigga ain't had no motherfucking EBT card.
On the set, I think I had an EBT call.
Man, I might get an EBT. But I walk in the building and look at me crazy.
Let me tell you this.
There are so many things. There's so many things going on in this video that I find to be hilarious, right? So remember what I said earlier. All that stuff I said, right? I stand by that. This is why I don't really be having empathy for grown men. First of all, why can't you get a fucking job? I follow I Love McConan on here. If you guys don't follow I Love McConan, go follow I Love McConan. He makes great content. And I'm rooting for I Love McConan, right? He just seemed like a good guy. I like the guy, right? I Love McConan got a normal ass fucking job. Like, he got a job. He got a job. I don't even think, and it's crazy watching him because I kind of like caught him early on when he jumped on TikTok. He didn't know how much love he had. He didn't know, right? But you watch him and you can't help but root for him because he ain't sitting on his ass. He ain't crying. He ain't complaining. He working. He working, right? And he ain't no deadbeat daddy. He ain't got no kids. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like, it's just like a respect, yeah, man, like, yeah, he down, but he ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't letting that shit hold him down. The nigga's still funny. He's still real. He a real motherfucker. He a real motherfucker, man. Genuine as shit, right? Love it. I every time he live, I watch a good portion of it. I watch all of his videos. The nigga is a solid cat, man. I promise you. He's the opposite of that. He's the opposite of that. So you want us to have empathy for you, right? We can take it back to the beginning. You mentioned your daughters. Why aren't you with their mothers? What did you do? That's the first place I'm gonna start. What did you do? Put a pin in that. We know the reason the relationship ended was because of you. You know what I'm saying? We know that. Like, I know that, but we're gonna put a pin in that. Then you on EBT. Ain't no shame on being on. I don't give a fuck what you did. Ain't no shame on. I'm not shaming nobody for being on EBT. But these be the men again, and maybe it's not y'all. Maybe it's not y'all. Literally, maybe it's not y'all like exactly the same. But these groups of men, to me, they all a group think. They be the same men. Talking about cut off baby mamas, food stamps and wig and this and that. And let's see what you know what I'm saying? Trying to shame every single mother that gets government assistance, blaming every black woman for kicking the black man out the home and choosing the government over, right? But it's okay. And all these black men stood up and said, nigga on the set, I had an EBT card. Nigga on the set, they high-fiving each other. Because ain't no shame in it. I'm not shaming y'all for having EBT. I'm not. But I want y'all to remember this shit. I want y'all to remember this. That it was okay to be empathetic to this black man who was crying when more than likely, and we're going to talk about it, he put himself in this position. I don't know about the money shit. Stolen from Chris Brown or whatever. Niggas get robbed every day, B. You know what I'm saying? What you going to do moving forward is the question. I remember seeing, what's his name? Carl Payne, I think, from Martin. The nigga was selling cars for years. I remember seeing old boy from the Cosby Show, the one that was married to the daughter, to the oldest daughter. I forgot his name. I remember seeing him selling cars, and they followed him around or whatever. And he was selling cars. A lot of people got regular jobs. Ask athletes. There's a bunch of athletes that went to the NFL, went to the NBA, and now they got regular jobs. You can work, my nigga. You are a able-bodied man. So if you ain't working, I think you ain't working because you don't want to pay child support. But that's me, though. That's neither here nor there. If you ain't making no money, you can go to child support court. You can go to family court and get your child support reduced. You probably didn't do that, and now you crying about it. Again, most of these wounds, if not all of them, seem self-inflicted outside of the Chris Brown not paying him. And I don't know their deal, but I do believe that you need to pay artists when they do work. So almost by default, I'm gonna side with Kevin on that, right? But remember, oh man, oh my baby mama, my 2 daughters, I lost custody of my 2 daughters. I lost access to my 2 daughters. Okay, red flag. Why aren't you with the mothers? Red flag. It seemed like, brother, genuinely, it just seemed like motherfuckers don't like you. So I see this video. The next day, I wake up to this video.
I went through with Kevin, and he is definitely extremely violent, physically abusive, and I wasn't the only person that has dealt with it. More recently, there was a young lady he dealt with, knocked all her fronts out. His child's mother before me has dealt with domestic violence, his sister, his mother, and now obviously the list goes on. And there's this new young lady that unfortunately was dating him, and his inability to have what people call self-control of his, frustration and his anger, and he takes it out. And he's not a small guy. He played D1 football. So he's a nice sized guy, and obviously beat this girl up.
So that wasn't you.
No, it wasn't me. I'm married. Gary thought it's not funny. Like, are you like, are you?
You know what?
No, because they just said a spouse.
Why is this funny, by the way? That part right there was disgusting. Trying to make shit funny I don't know. That was goofy. He too old to be acting like that.
Saw cohabitant. I didn't know which one it was.
Do you think I cohabitate? Do I live in Compton, or do I come to work with you every day?
Well, sometimes we
Atlanta,
Gary.
But
I do feel for the girl. You know what I'm saying? I was just talking to Ricky, and I was saying the sad thing about this is you got men sitting in jail right now for a nickel bag of weed. However, this man has hit and beat multiple women and still finds himself out free in the streets.
So what was that relationship like? Like you said that you could be sitting there just out of the blue.
Yeah, it was I can't believe I'm talking about it, because it took me a lot of time to even get up the courage to be able to talk about it, because it's embarrassing, coming from where I come from and being as astute and as courageous as I am. You always feel like it could never be me, Right. And so it's one of those things where I dated Kevin and I got pregnant, and we weren't really in love, to be completely honest. And it wasn't a relationship that lasted long enough for me to really even know him. And so it didn't start for me until I was pregnant with Marley.
Wow.
And I was pregnant with my child. So.
And that's when.
You don't say. Another pregnant woman getting abused by a man, and it didn't start until she was pregnant. The Choose Better crowd. I want y'all to talk. Listen to what the women be saying. Ain't that some shit? Now, y'all see them? Oh my God, don't nobody love me. I'm on EBT, my nigga. Am I supposed to care? Am I supposed to have a heart for him? I can't. This is what you did to the women. This is what you did to one of the mothers of your child. You did it to your other, the mother of your child. You knocked out a woman's front teeth, allegedly. I believe it, but we gonna say allegedly because I don't want to get in trouble. Yeah, you're at where you're at. You for a reason. You're there for a reason. It's all self-inflicted. All of it. I would I have no sympathy for that man whatsoever. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. That's crazy.
So.
And that's when the abuse started.
Yep. And then about a month after having Marley, it didn't stop. It got worse, and it got worse with her. And the final straw was when Marley was actually in my arms once. And I was like, I can't do this no more.
Always. Oh my God.
Damn. All right, Eva, don't start.
So I feel sorry. I feel sorry for that girl. I feel bad for that girl. And I feel bad for women that have to deal with it. And, it's actually not a laughable matter. It's something that makes you feel so little. So you really don't want to talk about it. But it really sucks. And I hope that they keep his ass in jail as long as they can.
Wow.
Period.
Right. Wow.
Well, we sorry you had to go through that. And on behalf, we're going to shout out the domestic violence hotline.
Yeah.
For any woman that's going through that and having to deal with domestic violence and stuff like that. So we'll when we come back, we're going to, Beyonce about to pull it up right now. So if there's any woman out there, go ahead and make a play. I'll let you do it.
Yeah. Like I said, it's one of those things that you don't want to talk about. It's something that you have to talk about, though, because a lot of women that you sit next to every single day at work and at church, and, you have family members. I have 3 brothers. Right. I got a brother in the Marines, and there's no way they would have believed that I was even dealing with this. And so if there are any women and men out there, because women are as crazy as men, and there are women out there that are, out there and violent against men also. But if there's anyone dealing with domestic violence, the domestic violence hotline is 1-800-799-7233. Hit them up and, try to get some help.
At the end, that was not no, let's not do that. Yeah, but anyways, though, y'all gonna whatever. I hate we gotta always be like women are crazy too. Like women can be crazy, yes, they can be. But what you're describing it's not common. It's just not the same thing. I don't like comparing DV of men and women. Like the DV that women face, women are just more vulnerable than men when it comes to DV. Sorry, it's not. I'm tired of playing that. It goes both ways. It's not just as bad. It rarely is there a situation where a man is like his life is actually at risk, meaning like he couldn't escape, he couldn't get away, he couldn't leave her. That's why even though DV shelters for women, also a lot of them also allow men to come there. There's very few, if ever, any men there. Because a man can leave and he don't got to worry about her like unalive, like killing him or you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't like that. It's not, I don't want to downplay necessarily. If there's a fine line, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Yes, it happens. But when we're talking about what's happening to women, it is unique. It is not the same. So we don't need to put it in the same vein. Like, let's not do that. It downplays the real threats, the way more extreme threats that women face. That's why I don't like to do that. But anyways, back to the point. Kevin Mccall did this to himself. He's an abusive man. He's an abuser, allegedly. Again, I believe the women. And yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about him crying about being on EBT. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I have no sympathy for him whatsoever. If you cried for Kevin when he was on EBT, I got EBT. Throwing it down like it's a fucking big joker in the spades, then you better shed a tear for Eva and her baby. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why a lot of times I don't be having sympathy for men, honestly. I really have to know men's like whole backstory sometimes just for me to care. Oh, and before I forget, this is another example of how women suffer in silence. Actually, like women are actually the ones suffering in silence, not men. Like I'm tired of men talking about men suffering in silence. Men actually don't suffer in silence. They get on the internet and go, I'm on EBT. Whole time, Eva been holding this in for years and she was abused. And there's a woman allegedly that got her fronts knocked out by him. So I don't want to fucking hear that shit. I don't want to hear shit about men suffering in silence. Fuck out of here with that.